Okay, so today I'm going to show you how to amplify your AM radio signals with this handy dandy little AM external radio antenna. It should get you much better reception on pretty much any AM radio. You don't need to plug it into the radio in any way, shape, or form, so it will actually work with almost any radio. And that does include these little transistor radios from the 60s and 70s. What you'll need a way to splice wires, and you'll need an on and off switch. Now this is kind of optional, but I definitely recommend it. And most importantly, I'm afraid that you'll need some wire. 50 to 100 feet of standard gauge speaker wire will work just fine. So this is what the finished product looks like. Well, minus the part that goes out the window and way out into my yard. So we'll get started building this antenna. So the first thing that we need to do is to make our coils. Now this is pretty easy. You're going to make them about dinner plate size, like 6 to 8 inches in diameter. I just have a little bit of wire left over, so I'm going to be doing it on a much smaller scale for you. So make sure that you leave just a little bit of extra wire, because you'll want to connect this into things later. You want to connect it into the switch. So you're going to make 6 of these coils. Again, you want to make them a lot bigger than this. This is much smaller than what you actually want to be. So once you have your your 6 coils like that, and you're all good, you want to put some scotch tape on it like this to hold it together, because you do not want this to go get all flimsy and go all over the place and create a big mess. By no means does it have to be scotch tape. You could use something like this, duct tape or Gorilla Tape or something as well, or I suppose masking tape would also work. Okay, well, now on to the switch. You'll just take one of the wires that goes out and connect it into the switch. It's pretty self-explanatory. You just loosen the screw and put it in. You'll get your second switch contact. You'll put another short wire onto there. And now we go down to our electrical socket. Okay, disclaimer real quick. Please be smart around electrical sockets. I'm not responsible for any injuries that happen as a result of you building this antenna. Okay, so with the electrical socket, here's what we're going to be doing. So you're just going to take your little lead and you're going to put it on the screw. So how you do that is you just loosen the screw up, you put the wire around it a couple times and screw the screw back in there. It will work on plastic socket covers as well. I have a metal one, but again, it will work on a plastic one. You just gotta make sure you get it around the screw, not on the painted part of the screw, because it will not make contact. This has to be done. If you do not ground your antenna, it will not work properly. Next step, take the other end, the other wire that comes off, and we're going to string it. Yep, we're going to string it right out the window, out there, off in the distance, and into the trees. That's what you're going to want to do. A helpful hint would be to get a rock, tie the rock on the end of the wire, and toss it way up into one of the trees. Make sure you keep this up high enough. You do not want anybody getting caught in your wire. Even if it's a place where people do not frequently walk by, still make sure that you get it up in the air nicely. And guess what? We're ready to demonstrate. So let's do that. I got an AM station tuned in right here. We'll turn the antenna off with this switch. And so as you can hear, we're barely coming in. You can just barely hear a little bit of music. But, turn it on. How about that? The fifth dimension's coming in pretty nicely. This signal does not sound very good. You can clearly hear up and away when we when we flick the antenna on. Again, without it and with it. So I'm gonna have to continue to talk over this because I don't want to get flagged for copyright infringement. So it definitely works, and it works well. You'll want to position the antenna in the way that best works. Depending on how you put it, it'll work better or not as well. And this trick does work as well with transistor radio. But this is without the antenna. So, with the antenna, there's absolutely no static on that transistor radio. Couple notes about this antenna real quick. The longer the wire that you make, probably the better off that you'll be. Up to about 100 feet would be the recommended length. I don't have quite 100 feet, but it does what I need it to do, more than well enough. The other thing is DXing, receiving radio stations from far away. That's why I put the switch in. That's about half the reason why. I just also like to be able to show people the wow factor. But with DXing, sometimes it's helpful to turn this off, because if you have two stations that are coming in with a standard radio with a ferrite rod antenna, you can just turn the radio and you'll block out one of the two stations usually. With this antenna, you don't exactly have that luxury anymore. Well, I hope that you found this helpful. If you decide to build one of these yourself, let me know how it went. If you have any questions on things, then be sure to ask in the comments. And, well, that's all.